Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Yes, we have been super late with this 5th episode. We gave y'all a little teaser about 2 weeks ago? Gave you guys a little teaser because we just gonna be honest and transparent. We was having some technical difficulties with this camera. Yeah. So, we had to we had to step our game up. We had to humble ourselves and say, look, we need a new camera. So, you know what? Shout out to the collective. Yes, shout out to the collective. They have sponsored us a new camera so that we could keep getting our little podcast off the ground. So we're back. We're back.
We're back
and
on track.
We're back on track. I like that. We're back on track. I like that. Okay, yes. Okay, so first of all, let me start off by introducing myself. My name is Chevis Mays, and I am the host of Let's Talk About It. And who are you, ma'am?
And I am Brennan Todd. I am the co-host of today's episode or podcast.
The podcast period. Yes. Yeah. So, thank you guys for being here. We promise you guys with these episodes that they'll be 30 minutes or less. However, I'm sorry to tell you, this one won't be. This one's going to be a little longer because we're going to dig deep into a topic related to domestic violence, because that's pretty much what our podcasts are about: domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. But today we're going to be talking about the 21 warning signs of an abusive relationship. Now, understand there may be a trigger or two. Understand you're here to take care of yourself. If this topic is a little too heavy for you, please feel free to remove yourself. Please feel free to comment. Please feel free to do whatever you need to do. This is a judgment-free zone. And again, we're not coming from no therapeutic perspective. We're coming real, raw, uncut, and unapologetic, talking about our own personal lived experience with this topic. And it's interesting because we're mother and daughter. So you would think that would be a hard topic to have with my mom or with my daughter. No, it's not a hard topic for me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because my daughters grew up seeing me in these types of relationships. And so, it may not have affected them directly, but it affected them indirectly. And so we're just going to be transparent and open and honest about the topic. So, Brett, anything you want to say before we jump right in?
I'm just glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to today's podcast, and I hope you all will enjoy it. Now, if you have any snacks or any drinks, you may, go ahead and relax with us, because we're going to unpack some real, true stuff about, warning signs in domestic violence relationships. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start off with, I'm going to call it warning one. And listen, I wrote down my warning signs because these are personal warning signs that relate to me. Okay. So if you see me looking at it, that's because they're mine, and I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Okay. So, the first one I want to talk about is speaking disrespectfully about their former partners. Okay. If you're in a relationship with somebody, or you're in the dating process and you meet someone and you're getting to know them and you're asking the question, so what, God, you're such a great person. What happened with your last relationship? If they immediately start bad-mouthing their previous partner, that is a huge red flag. Because if you're this person that's healthy and someone that's mature, you don't feel the need to badmouth your ex-partner, right? You would want to hear something like, well, it just didn't work. We outgrew each other, and, it was an amicable decision, and, we just decided that, we just needed to move on. I don't have no animosity towards them, and they don't have no animosity towards me, or we co-parent, and that's that. But when, they were a liar, they were a cheater, I did everything I could do to take care of them, and they did this and they did that. They never tell what they did.
Yeah.
They never tell what they did. So that is definitely a warning sign to take heed to. Brendan, what about you?
I would say, are we going to the next? Okay.
Yeah, go.
Okay. So I would say my border sign to look up for in a domestic violence relationship, I would say, just embarrassing your partner in front of everyone. If your partner says or do something that you don't like or whatever, and then that person pulls your partner to the side and be like, what are you doing out there? Why are you embarrassing? If you keep this up or whatever, then so stuff like that. Like that's kind of embarrassing, and
so embarrassment.
Yeah,
and that's not only embarrassing, but it's humiliating. It's very humiliating and demeaning.
Yeah,
it would make the victim on the receiving end, make them feel really small, and kind of like knocked back in the box, like, I'm inferior, let me just not say anything.
Yeah, I guess you can say walk around eggshells. Walk around eggshells.
Yes.
Like, I gotta be careful because I don't want to embarrass him or embarrass her. And
yes, that's it. And there is never ever a thing in a domestic violence relationship where you're not walking on eggshells. You're constantly walking on eggshells because you never know what your abuser's mood is going to be. Yeah, they're like hot and cold. They're like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You never know what you're going to get. Absolutely. Okay, so my next one that I want to bring up is building a sense of indebtedness with you. This is where, the abuser makes you feel like you owe them something. They make you feel like, well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have this, you wouldn't have that. I came and got you out the strip club, or you wasn't nothing when I met you. Your kids, you didn't have no daddy for your kids. You was broke. You didn't have nothing. You was on welfare when I got you. I took care of you and them kids, and them kids wasn't even mine. Stuff like that. So you feel like, well, I owe this person. Yeah. So, they are doing me a favor because like little Billy does love Big Gregory, or little Sarah loves her mommy and things of that nature. So you feel like you constantly are in debt to your partner, and they make you feel like you can't do nothing without them.
Yeah,
you can do absolutely nothing without them. Absolutely. Okay. You got one you want to hone in on? Or if you don't, I can definitely keep going. And we can just have the conversation. Okay. Well, this is a conversation. Okay. So, all right. So don't be bailing out on me, girl. Don't be bailing out.
I'm not.
Okay. There's also a red flag of being very possessive. In the beginning of a relationship, it does feel kind of cute that you feel like this person is just overprotective. They're not being possessive or jealous, but they're just overprotective. They just, they just really want what's best for me. They're just looking out for my best interest. No, they're being possessive. If you can't wear what you want to wear, if you can't hang around the friends and the family and your networks and your connections that you used to hang around with, that's being possessive. If you, as a grown person, dating, you have you have a curfew, that's an issue. Yeah. If you, as a grown person in a relationship, you have to constantly check in. And if you don't check in, guess what you were doing? You were cheating.
cheating.
That's being possessive. That is a red flag. That means you are dealing with someone who has some major insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So understand that, in a relationship, if there's no trust, if there's no togetherness, you don't have a relationship. You have a cage. You're in a cage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're not a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
You are an individual that had a life before this person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And what they also will do is reverse the roles. They'll make it feel like you're the one that's insecure.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one that can't be trusted. You're the one that, wants to be up under them all the time. No. In all relationships, everybody needs space.
Yeah. Because without space, it's just nothing but y'all are just gonna bump heads, and that's not good.
Yeah.
So it's good to just give each other space. But even if you guys gave each other space, like, don't take it as if like, oh, that person doesn't want to talk to me. Oh, no, like, life happens and
people get tired.
And sometimes like we just want space. So you just gotta respect that person's boundaries, and if that person
will you say that again? Respect that person's what?
Respect that person's boundaries. That's another warning sign to look out for, is your partner not respecting your boundaries. Just stepping over the line. No matter how many times you tell that person no matter how many times you tell that person you're uncomfortable or anything like that, they still cross that boundary.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So a person that don't have no boundaries is definitely a warning sign.
Mm-hmm.
That means that person is capable of anything. And if you let them get away with crossing the boundary, because they're going to try it.
Oh, yeah.
If you let them get away with crossing the boundary, then you have no boundaries, and they recognize that, and they'll continue.
Yeah. And you can tell when a person has never been told about themselves, especially when it comes to boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
like just how they react.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you tell someone like, yeah, you crossed my boundaries and you didn't respect me, that person's like whoa, like, so yeah, that just comes to show whoever you dealt with in the past, they allowed you or let you get away with.
Those are facts. There you go. Now she's warming up. Yes. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Yes. That is right.
Yeah.
So it shows you what type of individual they're used to dealing with, because of if they don't respect your boundaries, and then if that person whose boundaries are being crossed doesn't draw the line in the sand, you called it. The people that they've dealt with in the past had boundary issues. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay. They're very, oh gosh, this was a big one for me. They feel betrayed. They lack trust, and they feel mistreated. They're the victim. Poor me. I don't trust you. Yeah, you lied too much. Or yeah, you said that you was going to check the mailbox, but you was down the street talking to Miss Ruth. Or just dumb stuff like that. They feel like they can't trust you, but in reality, they're not to be trusted.
Yeah.
They're accusing you of things that they're guilty of. So you have to pay attention to that. That's a huge one. And then another one that stood out for me is acting self-centered and entitled. And what do we call that today? When someone acts self-centered, it's all about them.
A narcissist.
Oh!
Narcissist.
So very self-centered, very narcissistic. Everything's about their success. It's never, nothing is never about you. Never. You could be on a conversation with them, talking on the phone. Hey, how you doing? How was your day? It's all about them. But not one time do they ask you, how was your day? You know, or do you need anything? It's all about them, their needs, and their wants. Okay? A narcissist. Okay? You are not in an abusive relationship if they're not narcissistic. They're narcissistic.
Yeah.
Okay? It comes with that territory. Next one I have is not accepting blame, but rather blaming others. It's everybody else's fault.
Not taking accountability.
No accountability whatsoever.
Is that called ego, right? Or no?
It comes with egotistic behavior. Yeah. Very egotistic, and absolutely. Not accepting blame, but it's everybody else's fault. You know, here's a classic one. I can't keep no job because everybody's against the black man. Or you know, women are always walking around in their male energy, or women don't know how to be women. No, you probably don't have a job because you're probably being a real, you know what, on the job, and you will come and you will take all of your frustration out on your partner, but you know you can't do that at work. So you're up under somebody else's power and authority, and so therefore when you are let go at your job, you come home and you take it out on your partner. So it's and it's also going to be the partner's fault. Well, if I hadn't been in an argument with you, I wouldn't have went home in a bad mood. I wouldn't have went to work in a bad mood and lost my job. You know, so things of that nature. It's never their fault. It's always somebody else's fault.
I feel like stuff like that. Like I said, you got to go back to childhood.
Let's talk about it.
You know, like maybe like the person, their parent or whoever raised them, probably blame them for everything. Like, see, this is why things go wrong for you. This is why. So what they experienced in childhood, that's being brought up into their adulthood. And so then that's why, like what we talked about before, is shadow work. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the shadow work. Shadow work is like you're it's like you're coming into terms of bringing your darkness into light. Like what you were afraid to confront, like your shadow self, this is your light. So this is me, this is my shadow self. Whatever I refused to work on in the past, now it's coming into my reality. And so like if someone was to say some words to me or I feel triggered about it, I'll be like, damn, what? Like, why do I feel ugly about myself? Why do I feel like this? Oh, because someone in my past. And that's not good to bring that in a relationship because that person doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. So
that's real. And that is so true, because if you have had some childhood trauma that you have never dealt with, quite naturally, you're bringing that right into your relationships, and that's not just your intimate relationships, that's friendships, that's, you know, workships, you know, like for me, I one of the things that I have, and speaking of shadow work, one of the things that I realized about me is I've always lived my life in survival mode. I've lived in survival mode from a child, all the way through my adulthood, even to this day, because I even find myself at work. I'm like, I gotta get this done. Because I'm in survival mode. Because if I don't meet this deadline, then this is going to collapse. If I don't do that, well, they can't do that. I gotta do it. Survival mode. And I'm like, I got that reality just maybe about a month ago. I was getting my evaluation for work, and my boss was always telling me, Chevis, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
He said, I know if I give you a task to do, it's going to get done. He said, but this is the part. There's steps that you've missed in between, all because of your attention to detail is not there, because you're in constantly just go. Survival mode. And I told him, I said, that's how I've always had to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be in survival mode from a child, literally from a child all the way to adulthood, with being homeless, with being in abusive relationships, with dealing with relocations, with dealing with people, with dealing with, family. I've always just,
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm finally at that place to where it's like, I cannot continue to operate my life in survival mode. I can't do it anymore. I don't want to learn in survival mode. I don't want to live in survival mode.
Yeah.
I just want to live. And whatever mistakes come with that living, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that's a childhood trauma bond that is there.
Mm-hmm.
Survival mode. So that shadow work piece that you just spoke about, that is so
it's very
so
important.
on point.
Yeah.
So on point. So if you're dealing with someone who is, you find out they've had a lot of trauma and you're seeing some of the signs and the symptoms,
Please leave.
go. Because listen, you ain't nobody's healer.
Mm-mm.
You are not the fixer. You're not God.
Mm-mm.
And you're literally, like I've said before, picking up broken glass. You're getting cut. You're getting calluses. You're needing stitches. You're picking up all this mess, bleeding everywhere, trying to fix somebody. It is not your responsibility to be nobody's fixer. If they don't come already healed, you leave them alone. Because for one, you're nobody's healer.
Mm-hmm.
You're not God. You can't fix nobody. And one of the things that we just want to show them that I'm different, or, that I really love them and I'm going to be there for them. Well, you know what? That's your problem.
Yeah.
You need to be trying to be there for you. And then that right there speaks to your trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Because
doing the fixing.
Always doing the fixing. Always doing the fixing to the broken when you're broken. Okay? So if someone is dealing with their own trauma, they haven't came to terms with their trauma, that's a red flag. You need to run. They don't want no therapy. They don't want no advice. They just want to be who and what they are, and they want you to do all the changing while they just remain the same.
Yep.
Okay? Relationships is a two-way street. A healthy relationship is give and take.
Mm-hmm.
Give and take. And if there's not no give and take, that means somebody's on the end whose needs are not being met. Mm-hmm. And you got to make sure that your needs is met. Mm-hmm. Because you matter in your relationship.
That is true.
The next one that I'd like to point out, and then we will go over a recap of these.
Yeah.
So I'll just run through them. The next one is, here's a good one. Y'all ready for it? This is a good one. Gets involved quickly in relationships. Most abusive relationships, the victim knows their abuser 90 days or less before they're saying, I love you, or they're living together.
Yeah.
And the abuser, they come on like a whirlwind. They just we call it love bombing. They just love bomb you to death. That's a red flag.
And you know what's crazy? Because when I was at work, I promise you, I was like, what is love bombing? Because I've been hearing that word a lot. But yeah, for some reason, that word just popped up in my mind. I was like, what is love bombing?
That's what it is. It's when they just overwhelm you. Oh, you're the most beautiful. They overwhelm you with compliments. Oh, you're just so beautiful. Oh, you're so smart. Oh, you're so intelligent. Oh, I just want to take care of you. Oh, I love you. Oh, yeah, let's live in, they want to spend all this money on you, or maybe not. They feel like they can buy you. So it's just to overwhelm you to where you let your guard down. It's a
fake love, like.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Everything about it is fake. Even if they're not saying I love you, but just overwhelming you with all this attention. Because one thing an abuser knows, they knows when you're lacking attention. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They know. They know when you lack attention. They know when you don't love yourself. They know when you're not confident, because we wear it. We wear it. Some of us overdo it. Some of us underdo it. Some of us don't do it at all. And some of us just talk too daggone much.
Yeah, that's the problem right there. Like, just exposing ourselves too early. Like,
yep.
Like, yeah, just doing that. That's something that I really regret. Just
okay. Let's talk about it.
Like, like the guys that I've dealt with in the past, they made me feel like I can let my guard down and
be vulnerable.
Yeah. And just be open. Because like I said, I'm just the type of person, I'm just open. But to a certain extent, I don't need to be too open, because what if it comes to a point where they're like, well, at least I like, just tell my personal business and just throwing it down my face. Like,
and that's exactly why they do it. And that is a classic abuser. That is a classic red flag right there. They get you to trust them, let your guard down, be vulnerable, and they'll even ask you questions. And then depending on how you answer, they're taking notes. Like, this is an easy one. Yeah.
Like,
okay. Oh yeah. But you know what? You don't have to regret anything. And the reason why you don't have to regret, because you learn from your experience. The issue is when you know this stuff and you continue to repeat. You become a repeat offender. So no. If you learn from your mistakes, you understand your power, you understand your worth, you understand what you deserve. So, and how would you understand that if you had not went through what you went through?
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
So there is absolutely nothing for you to regret. The only thing that needs to be regretted is those that are still in these toxic relationships and making excuses time and time again why they can't leave, why they won't leave. That's the issue.
They're just glorifying that toxic kind of energy. Like, oh, well, I like when my person, puts me in my place. Like, what? You are not no daggone animal. You're not no animal. Like,
exactly.
Or, I love when my man has my, okay. That's good that your person has your location and stuff like that, but, like,
why? What's the why?
What
is the why? That's possessive behavior, which we just talked about. That's someone that's using you as a possession. They're not concerned about your safety. What they're concerned about is their commodity. That's what they're concerned about. It has nothing to do with you, sis or sir. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Ooh-wee. Let's talk about it. The next one I'd like to bring up is if the relationship seems too good to be true. Oh goodness. He's just a Romeo. She's just the best thing since sliced bread.
Fresh air.
A breath of fresh air. And they just wooed you and they just dated you and they make you feel so good.
So special.
So special.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for someone who ain't never felt special and someone with some low self-esteem, they're absolutely going to feel like, oh yeah, he's perfect. I mean, yeah. And if it's too good to be true, it ain't true.
there's always a motive.
Oh yeah.
There's always some intentions behind it. So.
Always some intentions. Absolutely. Okay, the next one, abuses drugs or alcohol. Let's talk about it. And let me add this. Sabotages your recovery. If a healthy person is not going to want to be in a relationship with someone who is unhealthy with drugs and alcohol. Because whether you like it or not, whether you're in a relationship or not, you are a reflection of your partner. You are a reflection of your partner. So why would, let me think of, why would Idris Elba go date someone that's strung out on drugs? He's not. That's not his caliber of woman. And if you attracting that, if a man is attracting drug addict, alcoholic women, that tells you right there, or a man or a woman, that tells you right there, that person has some major insecurities. Because I know I'm not going to go down the street and I'm not going to hang out with drug addicts if I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
I'm not, and if
I'm clear from that.
Exactly. I'm going to connect with people that I have things in common with.
Yeah.
Period. Now, we can be different. That's fine. That's dandy. But if you know I got a crack habit or whatever, and you're love bombing me, oh no, baby, that's a classic abuser right there. That is someone, matter of fact, I'm gonna take it a step further. That's a predator. That is a predator. Someone that preys on the weak and the vulnerable, that is a predator. What do you have in common with an addict and you're not one? Oh, because maybe if you can keep them high, if you can keep them drunk, it keeps them in a vulnerable state. And you can have power and control over them. Because if they were in the right state of mind, you're probably somebody they wouldn't be with in the first place. I said what I said.
That's true.
I said what I said. It's the truth.
She said it. No, because like that's straight facts. That's like, yeah, because that's like saying like, okay, this person is that this person don't smoke or whatever, but the other person, they smoke, and you're telling that person like, no, like I don't, and that person's like, oh, come on, and then
yes.
So a person that really loves you, they won't put you in a position where you feel like you have to explain yourself as to why you don't want to do those things or pressure you into doing stuff. A person that loves you, like I said, they're going to respect your boundaries. I said.
Yeah, she said it. She said it. Yeah. So if they abuse drugs and alcohol, or if they sabotage your recovery, that is a red flag. Run. Okay, another one. Demanding or pressuring you for sex. No means no. You are not a toilet seat. You know, sex is consensual, and if threats is made about, well, if you don't do it, I'll go get it elsewhere, well, they're probably doing that anyway. And not only that, that's also letting you know, well, this person is very disrespectful. They probably have high risk behaviors that which puts you at jeopardy for STIs, things of that nature. They might bring you a package that you just can't get rid of. And so, you can't give consent when you sick. You can't give consent when you're asleep. You can't give consent when you're
out and about.
You're out and about. Yes. Under the influence of any type of drug and alcohol, that is rape. Period. Okay? It doesn't matter if that's your husband or your wife. No means no. Period. Okay? Well, but my body is his body, or my body is her. No, your body is your body.
No, that's yours. Your body is your home. That is your home. Love. I feel like love. It's an intimate moment. It shouldn't be.
You on point. You see, you got to keep going with that. You got to keep going there. You said your body is your home.
It is your home.
And that is your sanctuary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how long you and that person been with each other. Your body is your home. Ooh. It is not no daggone doormat or nothing. It is your home.
That is your home. That is your safe space. And like she mentioned, sex is about intimacy.
It shouldn't be.
It's about love.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be in a relationship with no sex as long as you have intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can love your partner and have a great evening full of intimacy that had nothing to do with touching and all the other stuff that goes with it. Nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that there's anything wrong with sex. No, it's not. Everything's beautiful about sex with your husband or wife. I said what I said.
But the way you go about
exactly. The way you go about it is the issue. Okay, so nobody be manipulating you or taking it from you,
mm-hmm.
or making you feel bad about it and throwing temper tantrums.
Mm-hmm.
And even if, say you do say, I'm with it, I'll do it or whatever. But if there's some things that your partner wants to do that you're not into, don't feel like you have to do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, you say that. No, I ain't doing that. Let's get that straight right now. That's not happening. You know what? When I say I'm gonna be vulnerable, I'm gonna be vulnerable. And people gonna judge anyway. So, but I don't care. I'm speaking my truth. I remember an idiot that I was with. I remember this person asking me, could they bring another person into our relationship? And was serious, knowing that's not no type of ground that I've ever even got down like that. And what that confirmed for me is this person, Chavez, the 7 years that you've been dealing with them, they've been cheating on you, which you already knew.
Yeah.
You already knew, but no, you was so in love. Your head was so in the cloud. You couldn't see the trees from the forest. But it confirmed it. And it confirmed that they also was just very, very sick.
Mm-hmm.
And what I told them, I was like, what you can do what you want to do, but you won't be doing it with me. And as a matter of fact, you can get the going, buddy. That had to be the straw that broke the camel's back. And do you know, the person that he chose to be with once I was not down with all of that foolishness, don't you know that girl ended up with 3 and 4 women in her house. She would come home from work, honey, and catch him in the act with like just nasty women. Nasty women. She would catch him. And she said he would not stop doing what he was doing. He'd just keep on going. And you know what she said? It's my fault because I didn't want to do it, but I didn't set the boundary. And he blamed her for doing it because he told her, well, you're the one that's always at work. So she's at work because this bum won't work or can't keep a job. And he's bringing women into her home, sleeping with them. And I was like, well, girl, that's what you signed up for. Because it sure couldn't have been me.
Yeah.
Nah, absolutely not. And to this day, he's sitting in prison right now because he almost killed her 4 years ago. He beat her so bad that he cracked her skull. He cracked her skull. The girl was beautiful. She was beautiful. But by the time he got done with her, just like by the time he got done with me, a hot, broken mess. And so that just goes to show you got to be careful what you accept. If it doesn't align with your values, if it doesn't align with your character, don't be compromising nothing for nobody. If they try to get you to compromise, that is a red flag.
Cut them off early.
Cut it off early. Because once you're in it, it's hard to get out. And statistics show that a victim returns to her abuser, his or her abuser, 7 times. 7 times. That's leaving and going back because of, I'm sorry, the honeymoon phase. I'll change. I just need some time and we just need to work it out and we love each other. And we keep falling for it.
Yeah.
Keep falling back into the cycle, which leads back into the warning signs, because the warning signs don't stop. Okay. Road rage. We won't spend a lot of time on that one. But yeah, I just want to get on the road and act stupid when they're angry and try to make you feel threatened and scared. That type of behavior. Holding double standards. They can have 7 women, but you can't have 1 extra boyfriend. So it's always a double standard. I can do it, but you can't.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
But that doesn't make you that doesn't make you wife material.
But it makes you husband material.
Right.
The next one is, let's see here. We're going to run through these so we can get out of here. I'm going to just run through them. Isolating you from your friends and family, treating you differently in public than in private, appears to be attracted to your vulnerability, secretive. You don't know nothing about your partner. You asking them stuff and you don't know nothing.
Yeah.
That's a huge red flag. Run. You don't know what you're dealing with.
Yep.
You don't know how many times they've been to prison. You don't know how many times they got a problem with putting their hands on people. You don't know nothing about them. Showing up unannounced to your job, to your family's house, to your friend's house. Stalker.
Stalking.
I don't know how many times my abuser would just be sitting in my work parking lot and I'm just like, what the hell are you doing here? Calling your job, making me late for work, things of that nature.
Keeping you away from your friends and family.
Keeping you away from your friends and family. They keep you isolated. You can't go nowhere. You don't want to go nowhere because you know, and then if you do go somewhere, it has to be with him or doing what they want to do. And please forgive me for using him and her because domestic violence just doesn't affect women. It affects men too. But I'm just a woman, so I'm speaking from my own personal experience. But there is no gender, okay, in this. And then also needing to be right. They know everything. You don't know nothing. You don't know anything. They know it all. And
or
that
if you tell them that they're wrong, that's when they start getting mad.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they want to argue and they want to debate. I'm not going to debate with you and I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I said what I said. I don't have to agree with you. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Period. So anyway, this is, do you have anything that you want to share, Bryn, real quick?
All I have to say is it's better to cut the cord from someone early than late. You're worthy, you matter, and like I said, love should feel special. It shouldn't feel love should feel special, not pain. You know, so
Amen.
we just hope that this episode gave you guys some insight on what to look out for. And yeah.
Yeah, and what I want to say is if you or someone you know might be in a domestic violence relationship, help is available by calling the national hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. You can also inbox me or Brand, and we can give you resources as well. And just know this, anything that you've experienced in domestic violence, sexual assault, or human trafficking, it was not your fault. It was not your fault. It was not your fault. However, what I do want you to know, you're not responsible for your trauma, but what you are responsible for is your healing. So, our next episode, we're going to talk about why people stay in abusive relationships. This is going to be a good one. So, we will see you guys in 7 days. And hey, have a good night, and let's talk about it. All right. Subscribe, like, and share. Yes. Please do. And leave us some comments. Let us know what you think about this content. And if there's some things you want to talk about, let us know. Okay?
Yeah, there's some topics that you want to talk about. We could do research on.
Research
the topic.
Yes.
We'll do that. So.
And we're going to be bringing some men to the table too to talk about domestic violence. But you know, we got to build up we got to build this up first. So this is just our 5th episode. Sorry for any glitches. Thank you for the one person that did watch the live. We appreciate you too. And just, subscribe. Okay. All right. Thank you. Good night.